Hey, Robert here. So today I want to share a portfolio review video I did for David. And David came to me about a week ago asking if I could, check out his work and do this review for him. And what I always do when I do a portfolio review is I always record it in the moment with the video when I look at it for the first time, since first impressions is really where it's at. And then he was kind enough to actually give me permission to put it online so you and others can also learn from this review. So let's jump straight into it. We're going to be looking at his ArtStation. And the first impression is pretty good. Obviously a character artist. Not too much work, but the work he has is quite good. I like the top banner, but before we go there, let's take a look at the side here. Um, Pretty bare bones, not per se bad. I would say his character or profile avatar is cute. I assume he drew it himself, but it doesn't really match the rest of his work. And one of the components I think is quite important as an artist is understanding or looking into how your brand comes over. Brand being the feeling or impressions people have when they interact with you. In this case, the ArtStation page. So I would actually recommend that he changes his avatar to something that matches who he is, his quality of work, and the type of work he does. So that could be either a professional picture, or if he has the time or the will, maybe he can even do a 3D model of himself, create a cool image of himself in that sense, and use that as an avatar, just to bring everything in line to that higher quality of work he has. Back to the portfolio itself, from the top to the bottom, the banner is cool. Definitely the strongest pieces he has is in the banner. A tip I would give him is think about your brand and house style in that way, personal house style in that way. So maybe you can add your name in the middle or somewhere. Maybe you'll have a little logo or design elements like colors or shapes to really bring in a house style or a personal brand style that you apply everywhere. So let's imagine, let's say you have like your name in the middle, maybe you have like some color elements that you have on the side. You know, it doesn't have to be much, but something that so people instantly see, you put effort into the way you present yourself. And then obviously you apply that to all your other media and images. Going back down to the actual work itself, again, looks pretty cool. There are some pieces I would recommend to change. So this one's really awesome. This one's great. This one's great. This one's good. This one's great. This one stands out as doesn't really fit with the rest. This one seems, the hair itself is of really good quality and looks amazing, but it doesn't really fit with the rest of the finished pieces. So I would almost say either get rid of this one or just get rid of it, and maybe also get rid of this one or create a different thumbnail image here. So yeah, but let's first take a look at what he has here. Yeah, so having these menu buttons here with only one piece in it, I would say get rid of it because it doesn't add anything. It's already here. Clean up the work in that sense, or the menu you have, and just get rid of it. So just streamline what you have. And really what you're trying to get to is that first impression of people landing on your page with that top banner being great, maybe with your logo and everything. And then the work itself needs to really scream high quality professional artist. So get rid of the fluff, this one and this one. And I would say remove this one and maybe remove that one or do something with the thumbnail. But that said, let's go into the work itself. So I'm going to open each one. Okay, so this is a free mail blockout FBX. Yeah, I would say I would get rid of this. I understand that you want to give something back or something that might pull people in, but when it comes to your portfolio, I would remove it because it deducts of the style and quality you have with all the other pieces. So just get rid of it and maybe add it somewhere else. Maybe it's just a product in a product page, but I would remove it here. So the high quality work really is the only thing that's there. So the overall first impression is just great. This piece, yeah, looks amazing. There's a lot of color banding in the back. Always be aware of that with web images that can happen. Sometimes it's just better to not do a gradient and just a solid color. Overall, a really good piece. At the bottom here, your name and this gradient part feels a bit weaker. And I would say this comes back to what I said earlier with the banner. Design your personal house style in that sense. So the way you come over as a brand is also considered, and you're working on that. So create a logo or choose a font, choose the coloring, choose the way you add those design elements. So it's also high quality and you just add it to everything. So I would definitely say make this better. Cool turntable, amazing hair. Always good to have that. Yeah, really cool in how you present your work. Cool image, but very similar to what we have here. So I would almost say take a different angle, show something that's new. Another cool turntable, but similar to this one. So I would also say remove this turntable. Cool close-up, amazing face and texturing and rendering. Perfect on the breakdowns. Not everybody does this, but this really sets you apart, I would say. So really good work. Nice profile-ish type of image. More breakdowns, which is great. Textures, great. Cool rendering here, which is good. And the concept piece. Yeah, this is a really good portfolio piece in general. My biggest feedback is think about your design elements, unify that. That should also be high quality, and remove these double, so the double turntables and this one, and change it with a different angle. So when people go through the work, it is a journey in itself, right? So first image, cool, people are blown away. Turntable, cool, people are blown away. Maybe a different angle for an animation. So really when they go through the piece itself, they constantly get intrigued with something new. Ending with the progress shots, which is great. Yeah, the bottom part is perfect. So yeah, definitely I would say change the middle part and make sure people stay engaged while they go through the work. On to the next, the hair, which also looks great and amazing, I would say. Looking at it from in here, I would say it's actually a really good piece. Again, with the breakdowns, super good work there. I think the issue is here. This thumbnail is just not very strong. It kind of feels like an unfinished piece of work. I recommend to change the thumbnail to something that, to either this one or maybe this one. Yeah, so this is the thumbnail he chose. I recommend to choose this one or this one, since it really shows the quality of work of this hair, where this feels, it doesn't really show what you did here. And then I would say keep it in there. So this is more of a thumbnail issue. Otherwise, really great work. This piece, the next one, first impressions is it's less strong. The texturing, the normal mapping, the details is less strong. Like the way that the grunge is applied here, or the normal mapping feels a bit not really clean, or not baked that well, or not sculpted that well. Again, these two are the same, so I will just remove one of them. The breakdowns, really good job on the breakdowns. I would say again here, the way you make your portfolio pieces is great with the big breakdowns and at the end the sketch. But the piece itself, I would say, is a bit weaker. The way it's rendered. So you'll have to make a choice. It's a good piece to have and keep, but I would either upgrade it or replace it later down the line once you have more work to show, because it feels a bit, novice or beginner level. And it's the classical tip they always say, remove your weakest work, because everything combined, including your weakest work, brings it obviously down. So at some point you should remove this one or upgrade it. On to the next. Yeah, great character. Love the clothing and the folds. Again, the breakdowns, really good work on that. Perfect piece. You have the breakdowns, you have the ending with the sketch again. The way, or the images you have, there is nothing really repeating. So this is just a perfect piece. No comments, just keep it as it is, great. On to the next, also a cool character, more hand-painted-ish type of look. Cool animations, which is always good to have. Some poses, really good. I like the sword, by the way. Cool color use. Again, the breakdowns, the shield breakdowns. This one feels a bit weaker because of the rendering and the lighting. Same here, it's a bit flat, a bit boring. Cool ending with the sketch again. Yeah, again, a perfect piece. I would only upgrade the rendering of these non-textured versions, so what you had in the other pieces. So let's say I think you had it here too. Yeah, this renders, it's just a better lighting and rendering. So I would upgrade that in that piece as well, otherwise perfect. And then the last piece, really great piece, by the way. Cool design. I think this is probably your strongest piece you have, the breakdowns again. Perfect. I would say also here, like for future pieces, maybe do the rendering a bit more interesting here, but otherwise this is a really great piece. I think this is actually your strongest piece. Let's go back to your main page. Yeah, really good. So like I said, recap, think about the way you come over as a brand, design your house style or brand, maybe have your name here, have a house style, coloring, shapes, have a good font, apply that to all your other pieces. I would remove this one. I would change the thumbnail of this one. Everything else is perfect. This one being the weakest, so either upgrade it so it renders a bit better, looks a bit better, or at some point just remove it if there is more work. This one being the strongest, so feel free to maybe put that first, for example, so the order. Oh yeah, and I would get rid of these, oh, sorry. I would get rid of these menu buttons here because there's only one piece in it, so just get rid of it. Great, overall good impression. Definitely somebody I would consider or look at. So as in with social media itself and content, the first 2 seconds are the most important. And within those 2 seconds here for David, I was definitely interested to see more and keep looking. So overall, a good piece, good portfolio, apply those small little improvements and you're good to go. I hope that helps. And for those looking at this video, I hope it also helps you to kind of understand a little bit what to do with your own portfolio. Feel free to reach out if you want to review yourself, which again, I always do through video. And who knows, maybe we can also share it online and help others in the same process.